Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents Scents. Hope you're well. Blue fragrances are one of the most popular types of scents that have ever been made. And it makes sense why. They're made with versatility in mind, made to pull as many compliments as possible, basically made to be the one fragrance to rule them all. Like if you were gonna own just one thing, you could buy a blue fragrance and wear that year round. And so today what I'm gonna be doing is taking a look at 21 of the most popular blue fragrances out there today and brutally ranking them from S tier, the best, down to D tier, the trash. And with the rankings, I am gonna be overly harsh, and I'm also gonna keep a lot of things in mind with each scent. So talking pricing, quality, and also that versatility and compliment factor, which is one of the main reasons people buy them to begin with. So here's the fragrance lineup. These are the ones that we're ranking out. We're gonna kick it off with one that everybody knows, Voyage. Or if you wanna be fancy, Voyage. So that way if somebody asks you, what are you wearing? What's that fragrance? You can be like, oh, this? Yeah, it's Voyage. And they'll be like, Voyage? No. Voyage. It's different, it's more expensive. Sounding. So this is one of the all-time cheapy fragrances. About 20 bucks, you can find it just about anywhere you go that has fragrances. And it has a lot of lovers and a lot of haters. On the lovers side, they say it's a great aquatic, easy to wear, decent performance for the price, and kind of interesting with a little green tinge in there. Nice little green apple note as well off the top. On the haters side, they say it's overhyped synthetic trash that will give you skin cancer. Maybe they don't actually say that last part, but to me, this is one of the most important cheap fragrances ever made. It still works, it still smells pretty good for the price, but it definitely isn't sniffing that upper echelon of the tier list. For me, actually right here in the middle, B tier. It's easy to take shots at Voyage because it has been so popular for so long, but I think it actually deserves a lot of the love that it's gotten. To be fair though, I do have the old school type with the metal cap, and I think those were a little nicer. Yeah. Let's go from one extreme to the other. Bleu de Chanel L'Exclusif. This stuff is way more expensive than this. They're not even in the same universe. Bleu de Chanel L'Exclusif is also a completely different type of blue fragrance. This is more of a rich, ambery blue scent. Still great versatility, but more of like a classy evening out type vibe instead of a clean ocean vacation type vibe. And this is where it gets difficult because this really has no overlap with this. So how do you even rate them together, you know? Blue fragrances do cover actually a really wide range of uses when you think about it. And for me, I've got to put this right there in B tier. It's the polar opposite of Nautica Voyage. It has a more specific time you would use it. The price point is way higher. It does smell really, really good, but I think overall, I'd probably go for one of the other Bleu de Chanel's over this one if I were getting just one. Oh, also, I'm gonna be giving away a bottle of Bleu de Chanel Exclusive to one of you in today's video. Still sealed, 160 ml size. The bottle I got for myself is 100 mils. One of you gets the doozy. But we'll get to that later. Next up, Luna Rossa Carbon by Prada. Basically taking the Dior Sauvage style fragrance and making it Prada-fied. Cleaner, classier. That's exactly what this is. And for me, I've got to put this actually in A tier. The versatility here is amazing. The compliment factor is there. Maybe it loses a couple points because it doesn't have quite the same performance as Dior Sauvage does, but it's a killer fragrance. Montblanc Legend, the original right here. Now, this one is affordable. So it's got that going for it. It smells similar to Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce, which means you're also gonna find similarities between this and PDM Percival and all the different Percival dupes out there. Also, if you could go back in time to like the early 2000s, it would smell like every single mall across the entire country. I'm not even playing, dude. If you could Back to the Future to like 2003 and walk into the malls, like you don't even have Abercrombie & Fitch near you. It's on the other level of the mall, and you would still smell it. So this right here could give a lot of people some nostalgia flashbacks or PTSD. I'm gonna put it in the C tier. Trying to be overly harsh here because not everything can be S and A tier, even if realistically in terms of versatility, they pretty much all would be. We gotta be harsh here, bros. We gotta separate these out. The reason it's in C tier is I feel like just about anybody out there could find something similar to this that they like more. You could rock and roll with any of those Percival dupes out there. They're gonna be about the same price. Legend Eau de Parfum, I personally would get over this one, or you could even rock with the OG Fierce. Although Fierce does cost more. Le Male in Blue, Jean Paul Gaultier D tier. That was quick. I think as far as the hype this one had before launch, both from myself and a lot of people, we were really looking forward to it. It's kind of a letdown. Like, you imagine a Le Male Blue fragrance and you think something that's gonna come in and immediately compete with Bleu de Chanel, with Y, with Sauvage. You're like, oh, they're bringing the fire right here. Guaranteed they're gonna come out with something that absolutely crushes. Huge performance, massive compliment factor. Talking about the type of thing you spray on and it changes your freaking life. That's the expectation, for better or worse, that a lot of people had. And then it comes out and it's just a little queef. Would you like a little anise, a little licorice? To me, that's easily the most forgettable Jean Paul Gaultier fragrance that's come out over the past, I don't even know, guys, since COVID. That's what it feels like anyway. D. Invictus. Ooh, big boy right here. Easily one of the most important fragrances ever as far as blue scents go. This stuff came in and changed the game. Everybody wanted an Invictus style fragrance when this was new, and still yet, there are companies coming out with their version of Invictus years and years later. It's very bubblegummy and sweet, but it also has a nice freshness to it. Some bay leaf in there as well, which gives it a good character. The only potential drawback here is, you know, it's maybe a little overplayed. Now, is that Invictus's fault? I mean, technically, yeah, I guess so. They did keep selling them, you know, but hey, people were buying them. What do you want from them, I guess, right? And I'll tell you, if we're doing this list based solely upon how important the fragrance is or was, S tier, okay? S tier all day. But for this list, B tier. More of like a high B tier. I have come to appreciate that fragrance more over the years, but that's where it's chilling out for now. Bad Boy Cobalt. Not really your run-of-the-mill blue fragrance. This one has plum off the top, even has kind of an earthiness as it dries down. Usually when you think of a blue fragrance, you're thinking, oh, grapefruit, bergamot, ginger. Ah, nice, how wearable. This one flips all of that on its head. It smells really unique. Outside of Invictus Platinum, which smells kind of similar to it, but outside of that, really unique. Solid performance, big time compliment puller. This one also will grow on you like a tumor, a really good smelling tumor. S tier. My knee jerk was to put that in A tier, but the more I think about it, the more I gotta bump that one up. What about K Eau de Parfum by Dolce & Gabbana? Well, yeah, K has not exactly set the world on fire. And to an extent, you know, some similarities over here with Le Male in Blue, not in terms of how it smells necessarily, but in terms of how it worked out. Because when Dolce & Gabbana launched K, or King, it was supposed to be up against those big dogs. The initial thought was, this is going to be one of the best sellers out there, and then it came out and Saw a disgusting video the other day of a guy just had too much to drink. I think it was like a Buffalo Bills fan. Shout out Bills Mafia. Just puking all over himself. Okay, just like a fire hose, nonstop. Big guy. And when I saw that, my first thought was, that's pretty gross. My second thought was, I'm glad I'm not sitting next to that dude. My third thought was, yeah, it's pretty much Dolce & Gabbana when they're coming out with their K fragrances. They are that dude. The puke is the K. D. Now, K does have like a little cult of personality where some people really, really do enjoy that fragrance, but I think, you know, the writing is on the wall. K Elixir dropped this year, which is supposed to be the pinnacle of the K line, and literally nobody cares. It's irrelevant. And for a fragrance that was supposed to be as big as it was supposed to be completely irrelevant, not a good thing. Missoni Wave. Ah, nice. This is more like an aquatic fragrance, but it has that blue fragrance versatility, so I think it can fit in here. Also, the cap is magnetic. The only other one with a magnetic cap so far, Bleu de Chanel exclusive, and this is way, way cheaper. Now, I just got through making fun of K for not being that successful in terms of retail sales. I could probably do the same thing here. Missoni has all but abandoned this fragrance line. Hopefully they bring it back, but you know, they haven't done anything with it for a minute. And by a minute, I mean years. But this stuff still rules. Very affordable, smells similar to Chanel Allure Homme Sport or Versace Pour Homme, kind of in between the two. Amazing scent with great versatility. A tier. Ralph's Club by Ralph Lauren. Now, I will say this is not the best Ralph's Club fragrance, okay? Ralph's Club Elixir, most people would say, is better. That's not really a blue fragrance style, that's more an iris type fragrance, but still, just in terms of the scent, that one's better. Ralph's Club New York, I think is better than this as well. And that one does have blue fragrance versatility. I like that one so much, I might even scoot that up into the S tier. I'm not saying it necessarily deserves it, but I think I'd put it there. The reason I have this one is because this is the one that kicked the line off, and you can also oftentimes find this for dirt cheap. I've seen this one going for as low as $25 for a 50 ml size bottle, and that's not even a fake. There are a ton of fakes on eBay, just, you know, PSA. I'm not talking about this, I'm talking about all fragrances. I've had multiple people reach out to me recently saying, hey man, do you think this is legit? Is this legit? Is this legit? And linking me to eBay listings. And it'll be for fragrances that have been discontinued for years and it's like 40 bucks. No, that's a fake. Or it'll be something like The Most Wanted for $25 and they have 50 of them for sale. Like, dude, if it's too good to be true, you know the rest. If it seems too good to be true. Bleh. But yeah, this one you can find often for 30 bucks or less, depending on where you're shopping, at actual discounters for a 50 ml size bottle. And at that price point, it's a good pickup. Kind of like a more aromatic, not quite as sweet Y, like that type of scent. I don't think it's good enough to be up here, but you pick it up on the cheap, B tier, hanging out there, I think it's a good spot. Now I mentioned JOMASHOP, and look, I got codes for JOMASHOP. Yep, you can use those on the JOMASHOP app, but not the website, so you have to download the app to use those. Save yourself some money anytime you shop there though. Also have codes for Perfume Box, Fragflex, Beauty House, Gift Express, Maple, Prime, Fragrance Lord. All of those codes are also in the description, so you can copy and paste those anytime you shop at those stores, save yourself some extra cash. The next scent, Eau de Parfum. All right, this is one of my favorite blue fragrances ever. Fresh and sweet, done to perfection. The quality is good. The performance is great. Crazy compliment puller if that's important to you. And you can use this year round. S tier. Now, I know some people are gonna say, it's too sweet, I don't like it. But I think in reality, it occupies its own lane really well. When you smell something that smells similar to Y, you clock it immediately. So it's important enough that it kind of has its own DNA, the same way Invictus does. It doesn't fade into the background. Polo Blue, the original one. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think for the price point, it's kind of overplayed nowadays. It has become very much like a victim of its own success. Like you've smelled it a lot over the years, and it's just this sort of very paint by numbers, gym bag type of scent. Performance, not that great either compared to most things nowadays. Put this in the D tier. Sorry, bud, just not quite interesting enough anymore. Narciso Bleu Noir Eau de Toilette Extreme. So this one is really difficult for me. The fragrance itself, it's pretty good. Like the blend, the quality, nice. The performance is not great compared to a lot of the other ones, so that docks it some points. And it definitely has more of a musky lean to it, which means it's going to appeal probably to guys middle-aged and up. I would think younger guys, even guys in their 20s, a lot of times, they're not gonna really go for this one quite as much. And the price is not typically super low. So you know it's not gonna be as cheap as like the Missoni or the Nautica or the Ralph's Club. So I'm gonna put this here in C tier. It's really good for a very specific wearer, but it doesn't have quite as much widespread appeal or use as most everything else up here. MYSLF, yeah, the new MYSLF Eau de Parfum. Well, it's not new anymore, is it? They've got multiple flankers. But in terms of an overall line, it's like the newest line up here. So new-ish. And this is another one that I am currently struggling deeply with in my soul. On the one hand, very fresh, versatile, easy to wear, compliment monster, very important as well, very influential. Since this came out, it's one of the most popular men's fragrances in the world, and you can see how it's influenced other brands out there to come out with stuff that's kind of similar to this. It's also very simple, and a lot of people would smell it and be like, yeah, there's not enough to it. And even in spite of that, gotta put it in the S tier. That's another one of those fragrances that the more you wear it, the more confident you feel wearing it, you keep reaching for it. In terms of what a blue fragrance does or is supposed to do, that stuff is perfect. Now you could say it's not really a blue fragrance because it's in a black bottle and maybe it doesn't have like the, standard Sauvage type note breakdown, but I think it's really like the evolution of a blue fragrance. It does the same thing. It's made to be worn in all situations, and it does that really well. Chrome by Azzaro in a really big bottle. And I'm gonna tell you straight up, I am falling into the same kind of vibe with Chrome as I did with Voyage. It's cheap, it's wearable, it's a classic. You could probably find a Chrome flanker nowadays that you like more than the original, but what this does, it does really well. Just an aggressively clean, out of the shower fragrance with a little bit of a metallic tinge to it. I'm gonna put it in the B tier. I think the versatility is there, especially for the price point for a lot of people. Although you could convince me probably to bump it down to the C tier, and I wouldn't really argue with you. It's like B.5 or C.5. Half a B, oh, whatever. Why Eau de Toilette? This stuff I feel like gets overlooked because of why Eau de Parfum and also the original Why Le Parfum. But why EDT still rules. This stuff is fresher than the original. It still has that nice bit of sweetness in there. People love the way this stuff smells, even if it isn't hyped as much as Why EDP. It's more office safe, better during summer as well. I'm gonna put it in A tier. And that's a comfortable A tier for me. I actually really like YEDT. Ooh, another Bleu de Chanel, Eau de Parfum. Now this gets to be more difficult. This is more affordable than L'Exclusif, more wearable than L'Exclusif. You could pretty much rock this anytime you want. I've said this before, but Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum may be very well the most versatile designer scent out there. Pretty much any situation you can think of, this will work. Maybe in the middle of summer when it's crazy hot, maybe you go for something that's a little bit fresher, but outside of that, you can wear this anywhere. S tier. We go from one of the heaviest hitting blue fragrances of all time to Jimmy Choo Man Blue. So Jimmy Choo Man Blue does have some things going for it. For example, the atomizer is pretty good. In terms of the note breakdown, it is strangely not like a full bore blue fragrance. There's clary sage, black pepper, vanilla, and leather, for example, as some of the main notes. Not exactly what screams to you, fresh out of the shower, but you know, they don't all have to be that way. And to be fair, it is decently fresh. Now, it's also a bit forgettable. The performance is not very good. And really the best use case for this is that you do pick it up on the cheap, like very cheap. And then you just use it as kind of like a grab and go scent when you don't want to wear something nicer. It works okay with that. Not really loud enough to get you too much attention, and also the type of thing you'd have to reapply multiple times. D tier. Doesn't smell like aggressively gross. It's just out of everything here, I like all this better. Invictus Parfum. This is the evolution of Invictus. See, this is silver and this is gold. Must be better. So Invictus Parfum, this right here basically is the slightly more grown up take on Invictus. A little bit soapier, not quite as bubblegummy. Overall, the quality is higher, and I do like this one more. I don't know that I like it enough to put it into S tier, but I definitely like it enough to put it in A tier. Coach for men. Now you could say this has some overlap with Jimmy Choo over there in the sense that it's not that strong, and it's pretty affordable. And that's true. But I think that this is the overall better fragrance. Like between this and Jimmy Choo Man Blue, I'm taking this all day. I don't know that it's quite good enough to sneak up into the A tier, but I think it's comfortably toward the top of B tier. And we're gonna finish off with Sauvage Eau de Parfum. A massive fragrance, one of the most popular scents of all time. Actually, Dior Sauvage at this point is the best-selling men's fragrance line ever. And I put the Eau de Parfum in here instead of the Eau de Toilette because I think if you're gonna go for that OG Sauvage style, right? The EDT, the EDP, and the Parfum, this is probably the one you want. It still has that fantastic performance. It's an absolute monster as far as how much people like it, you know, the positive attention and everything. It doesn't have quite the same metallic punch as the Eau de Toilette. This one is smoother. Also has a really nice sweetness from vanilla in there as well. And I know it's kind of boring to just put it up there with Why Eau de Parfum and Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum. Like, oh yeah, the best sellers, of course. This stuff is a monster. This is one of the most consequential releases ever. I mean, alongside the EDT. So I'm gonna put it in the S tier. Another one that's very easy to hate on. It's very easy to go, Sauvage, Sauvage sucks. Only idiots like that. But if we're talking what a blue fragrance is made for, it's like the king right there. Giveaway time, Bleu de Chanel L'Exclusif. Again, a big old heavy 160 ml size bottle. Don't worry, it was only $360. I hope whoever gets this really, really likes it. That's all I'm saying. So if you want to be entered in the giveaway, guys, all you have to do, like the video, be subscribed to the channel, leave me a comment down below. In the comment, tell me your go-to blue fragrance, whatever it is. It could be Eau de Parfum. I don't care. If that's what you really rock with, say so. I'll pick a winner with random comment picker, post it up on the post tab of the YouTube channel, and whoever's the winner, hit me up. I'll ship that out to you. Good luck. All right, guys, that will do it for me. Thank you for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.